Good afternoon and welcome to Dialog Insight's e-commerce strategy discussion. First, a little bit of housekeeping. We'd like to encourage any questions that you might have. Please express them in the chat window or take them up with your account manager or Allison or I directly following the webinar today. We're also recording, so following you will get a link for reference, and please feel free to share the link with others who might be interested. My name is John Martin, and with me today is relational marketing expert Allison Flero. Today's discussion is in the form of a case study, courtesy of one of our clients. Whenever possible, real examples and screenshots will be used to explain what we're talking about today. I'd like to introduce you to our client. It's a company called Mia, and Mia is a division of Bizou International. Mia is a jewelry brand in Quebec, and they sell stainless steel and sterling silver jewelry to a sophisticated market of women who want modern, functional, and considered design. Mia's offerings include reinvented classics that are essential to most sophisticated styles and pieces that are made to last year-round. Mia always ensures high-quality material and attractive prices. You'll see their website shortly. There it is at bu.com, and we encourage you to visit their site and take a look at what they have to offer. For the e-commerce discussion, Allison will walk us through a little bit about how we help them with that.
So miabijou.ca is a transactional site that uses the Shopify platform, which allows users to make a site to manage online sales. Shopify is managed by Mia, and on our side we collect the transactional data and import it in the Dialog Insight platform and use it to meet certain objectives that Mia has put forth. So Shopify collects the data and we developed a solution to use the data. Mia wanted to take the data that they had in Shopify and use it to personalize their promotional messages and make them more targeted.
So to get an idea on how we can do this with, in conjunction with the Dialog Insight marketing program, I thought it would make sense to start with an overall view of some of the programs Mia already had in place. So Mia uses a loyalty program they call Mia First Class. It's in place in their stores, and we were proud to help them bring some of that functionality into their online offering as well. So things like loyalty points collected when you purchase more, things like birthday offerings when you can get a coupon or something off. These are things that they want to build into their loyalty program. So when they do this in store, they're able to track things with loyalty cards and stamps and other point of sale type procedures. Of course, that's much more difficult to establish online. So we were able to help show them how to bring some of that into the marketing platform. This program is already launched and in place online. They launched it in January of 2016. The idea was not to distract from the Christmas of 2015 busy retail season, although it was in planning before the January launch. This year, coming into the busy Christmas season in 2016, Mia is looking forward to increased sales, both as part of their online offering as well as the traditional busy Christmas season, in the stores.
So I'm just going to note here that the solution that we put in place is really in function of Mia's objectives, and we can help you meet your objectives too. We have an e-commerce tool that is able to connect e-commerce systems to the Dialog Insight platform. We are able to get the information from the cart and mirror it in each contact's profile in Dialog Insight. So in the Dialog Insight platform, we can see in the contact's profile when the person shopped last, what they purchased, and how much. So now let's see the solution that we put in place to meet Mia's goals. Keep in mind that we can do the same for you, so that's why it's really important to be able to identify your goals. I'll try not to go too much into the technical details, but the first step is to transfer the data. We developed an e-commerce module that allows us to connect to e-commerce sites. These include Magento, Shopify, and Google e-commerce. The tool is easily modified for the other commercial and custom platforms. Once in place, in the results section of the Dialog Insight platform, we can see the data. So you can see some graphs here on the number of transactions by month. Since this data is in the results section, it's also connected to the contacts profile and can be used to personalize the target messages. Once we have all the information in place, we put indicators in place. And these are a little more sophisticated than the score module in your account. The indicators are used for segmentation and targeting, either manually or automatically, with marketing automation and live real-time scenarios. Now, the data transfer process is a bit on the technical side, but if you want more information on what happens, please feel free to reach out to your account manager. Okay, so the first step is done. We've collected the information. So now we have to look at the client's goals and decide what information we need in order to meet them. Their goals were to give points according to the amount of purchases the contact made. Let's take a closer look at the indicators we set, which are total transactions and total of all purchases. Advanced indicators will then do a calculation. So we set a rule that makes a calculation and the system places the total in a relational table in the contacts profile. We can see here that the indicator we created is named transactions, and that indicator is doing a calculation from the e-commerce transactions table. And the calculation is the total value of the revenue field between January 1st and today's date. Once that is set up, we can look in the relational table named transactions. So this is the one on the left, to see the total. So in the transactions table, you can see there were 3 transactions. The second indicator that we made was for the total value of the purchases. And you can see in the purchases table that the total came to $198.90. So this means you could either reward your contacts for making, let's say, 5 or more transactions in a certain time period, or like Mia, you could reward based on the total dollar amount of the purchases. The last step is to make groups based on the indicators that we just saw. In the group creation area, we now have the scoring tab.
So using the group creation tools, the client can now make groups based on, on the criteria, on the purchase criteria. So you can see this one is based on the total of all the purchases once the value is greater or equal to 400.
Now the group was created at the end, after the data was collected and the objectives were set. And now we're ready to send the emails. They wanted to send messages to contacts based on the total purchases they made. The messages could have been made differently with one message that is personalized, but in this case we made 5 emails with 5 groups that targeted each purchasing level.
So just to break that down a little bit, Mia had one group for everyone that purchased under $100, and those people were offered a 15% rebate. There was another group created for between $100 and $200 that were offered a 20% rebate. And then up to $300 were offered a 30% rebate, and those who purchased $400 were offered a 40% rebate. Those who purchased $400 and over in the last year were offered a 50% rebate. So the more they spent, the more they received. Like Allison mentioned, in this case, Mia created those 4 groups and sent individual emails, but they could have used our personalization module that looks at variable data and created one group and used the personalization tools in the platform to populate the appropriate offer for the appropriate contact. So
now that we've seen the solution, Let's look at the results, and we will come back to the success rate and how you could put a project like this in place. The thing to note is that the project had an excellent outcome.
That's correct. The subject line for the message that went out was "Discover your annual rewards." Mia wanted this strong call to action to help them with the contact open rate, or the email open rate. So let's take a look at what the open rates were. The open rate for the messages overall was 49.9%, which was a 33% increase, and that's a great result for retail emails. In fact, the last email, for the customers that had 50% off coupons, had an 82.1% open rate. These are wonderful results. So when they say to reward your most loyal contacts because it makes them more engaged, you can see that you don't have to look much further than this to see that there is proof for that concept, and the bottom line sales results will follow accordingly. The click rate was also much better in this campaign. There was a 25.8% click rate over the usual messages. This is a 16% increase, and for the more engaged contacts, they actually had a 52.2% increase in clicks. So the conversion on contacts that purchased 200 and more were the most engaged contacts in the campaign. So we learned that anytime we give a rebate, Mia learned that anytime you give a rebate over 30%, it's way more advantageous to those clients' engagement follows along, which is of course one of the goals of the loyalty program. This was a wonderfully successful campaign.
That's right. So you can see here that the loyalty programs really do work. The goal was to increase open rates, and they had a great response to their campaign. No matter what the project is, it's better to plan in advance. Find a good value proposition that will work for you, and take advantage of e-commerce data to tailor the messaging to your clients. Using behavioral tracking like the Journey module on your website and the advanced scoring tools will definitely help you. But don't forget the most important detail, and that is always to test, measure, and refine to improve your communications.
That's pretty much all we have in the way of the case study this afternoon. Adding in e-commerce statistics into your marketing platform can help you drive some wonderful results for your business, and we'd love an opportunity to talk to you in detail and try and help you realize some of the same goals and realize some of the same increases for your business. My name is John Martin, and you can reach me directly at jmartin@dialoginsight.com, or you could reach out to Allison at aflero@dialoginsight.com, or like we said earlier, please feel free to reach out to your account manager, and we'd be happy to help you, with any questions or realize some of the same results in your business. We don't have any questions, I think, that are unanswered, so if you think of them afterwards, please send them on, and we'll be happy to get back to you. I'd like to thank you again for your time today. I see we're finishing a little bit early, but that'll let everybody off the hook, so I hope everybody has a wonderful afternoon. Thank you very much.